Good morning. It's Saturday, beautiful spring day. It's already about 18 degrees out. Uh, Snow's gone. Ground isn't all that mucky. Great day for archery. Just a little slight breeze, but it's coming from the stern, so it's a following wind for the arrows. It's nice. So I was out shooting, and if I do this right, you'll see a very short video of me shooting 4 different types of arrows. And so today I want to discuss the different types of arrows. I'm a traditional archer, always have been. So I use wooden arrows. But sometimes when I used to go stumping in the bush with some of my buddies, what you do is you find an old stump or a fallen tree, and you draw from a deck of cards. Whoever gets the lowest shoots first. Everybody else has to try and get as close to his arrow as possible. Whoever gets closest gets to shoot first the next time. If you're doing it right after payday, sometimes you bid money on it. So, anyway, use carbon arrows for those, simply for the fact that, one, they're a little bit more durable. If you pick a log or a stump that isn't quite as rotten as you thought it was, wooden arrows, sometimes they're hard to get out, sometimes they just snap. The nice thing about carbon is the tips screw on and off. So if you get it in deep and you can't get it out, you just unscrew it and pull it out. Bob's your uncle. So with wooden arrows, they're glued on tips. If you're lucky enough to retrieve the wooden arrow and leave the tip behind, you just glue on another one. So I have with me 5 different types of arrows. I didn't realize I still had another one, otherwise I would have shot all 5 in the starter video. So I have 4 wooden ones. Okay, and what I have is a very expensive red cedar arrow, and that's called a bullet point. Okay, it's brass, and it has turkey feathers. They're 5-inch, and these are shield cut. With a bit of an arc to them, and there's 3 feathers or fletching. You see 2 yellow and 1 that's white. That's called the cock feather, and that's how you know which way to put your arrow on the string. Cock arrow out. So that's that one. We have this one, which is one of my recent purchases. This is a white maple with what's called it's a field tip or a small game tip. You'd go after rabbits or partridge or small game, and you can see the difference between that and the bullet nose. So this one is actually my most recent purchase, and these are longbow arrows. Okay, again, it's a bullet. They're steel. It's a bullet tip. These are glued on, and the fletching is 5 inches, and they're shield cut, and they don't have a cock feather. You can get them with cock feathers, but I went with really traditional, and you can see the serving line that ties them. Okay. Also, there's no plastic knock. It's a groove cut into the wood itself for knocking on the bowstring. Okay. The other one, and all the other ones are plastic. Now these are all glued on, so I'm going to explain why that's a benefit later. The other arrow, this is a white pine arrow. Again, it's got a field tip or a small game head on it. 5-inch shield cut, and I know they all look yellow, but if you'll see, you can just make it out. The cock feather has a faint stripe to it, and that helps you to align. But also on the knock itself, you can see a little flange that sticks out, and usually when you pull it out of your quiver, your thumb automatically feels for that. and that helps you to line it up quickly. So with the carbon, again, this is a bullet point, and it has 3-inch turkey feathers. And again, there's no real differentiation between the flight feathers and the cock feather. But again, you've got that little flange. This one's very small on the plastic knock to line it up. Now, if you're a traditional archer, you don't use carbon arrows. Like I said, I only use carbon arrows when I'm stumping in the bush, simply because of the fact that even though you never fall in love with your arrows, I hate like hell wasting them. So these things are easy to retrieve, and again, it's just a screw out tip. So, and you can get variations in the tips. You can get, this one's a heavier field tip, and you can see the size difference, and those weight the arrow is different, so it definitely affects their flight characteristics. You can also get different sizes in the field tips. So this one's a smaller one, this one's much more heavier weighted. And with carbon arrows, especially those who shoot either compound or Olympic recurve, or what's called bare bow, they're not fletching, they're vanes, because they're made out of a nylon material. They're very bendy, and so. And of course you've got plastic nocks with the carbons, and they just slip into the ends, and they're easy to change out, different colors, different sizes. So with wooden arrows, you've got, you know, I keep quantity on hand because I'm forever repairing my arrows, because sometimes if you miss the target, or the target's hard or something, you get this. And it's all good. Traditional archers know never throw away the pieces, because everything's recyclable. At some point I'll probably have to replace the fletching on other arrows, and I've got good fletching here. They come off quite easily. The tips you pretty much throw away, but the glue that you use when you're making your arrows is very incredible. To soften it, you heat it with an open flame, and then you just kind of roll your shaft into it, and then you can glue on your tip. If you break the arrow and you want to reclaim the tip, you just use an open flame, you heat the tip, the glue softens and pops right off. So, and if there's any residue left, you can reheat it, you reuse the glue. So you're not going through it. A lot of people use crazy glue, which is kind of a one-shot deal. So now, like I said, hopefully I'll be able to attach the short video I did. You'll see that the arrows, partially because I've gone all winter without shooting, so my consistency is a little off, but each arrow flies differently. So if you're out shooting, if you're doing a 3D range, or in a competition or something, always make sure you're using the same arrows. You weight them, you can tune them, and you usually go with 6 arrows because you shoot 3 per round, so you've always got 3 in your quiver. And yeah, they'll shoot as as well as they can together. The rest is up to you. Some days you're off, some days you're on, but if you make sure your arrows are proper, then you can't blame them. So my favorite is the red cedar. They are very durable. I've had these for a while. They've been with me to Ukraine and back. they fly very well, and as you can see, they've got some decoration to them. This one's had the knock broken, but it's easily changed out. Like I said, you just heat the end, and the glue will let go. Uh, hmm. That's pretty much it. I just tried out my new longbow arrows today, and I'm quite happy with them. They fly very differently. The reason why, um, depending on the type of longbow you use, I'm using what's called an American flatbow or American longbow, as opposed to a British longbow. It's cut near to center, the shelf that the arrow rests on. It's not cut to the center line of the bow, it's cut near to center. So the bow still has to do a little bit of a curl around the bow itself, and in what's called the archer's paradox. And you think you're not aiming at the target when you release the string, but the inertia of the arrow straightens it out and pushes it towards the target. Aiming's a little different, mostly instinctive, but the shafts are weighted a little differently, so it was take me a bit to get used to that. Also, the way the knock is, I'm going to have to just put a little piece of sanding paper in there just to loosen it up a bit, because they are fairly tight on the serving line of the bowstring. So that affects how they release. So, and these are 5-inch, and again, they're shield cut, but they're just a straight shield cut. I'll show you the difference here. You can see. So, but if you're shooting a longbow, it's kind of nice to have a traditional. If I was going really traditional, I'd have a British or an English longbow with no shelf, and I'd have linen string instead of the new material. My strings are all Flemish, what's called a Flemish twist. They're handmade, and they're what's called fast flight. So they've got a little bit more snap to them. Send the arrow down the range a little quicker, a little bit more force. So that is my discussion on arrows today. So I hope everybody's enjoying the weather. I hope you're having good weather. And until the next time, go Leafs, keep your stick on the ice, and good shooting.